a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services, as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Cupid, the messenger of love. That guy is totally undependable. This Valentine's Day, choose Petal Creations as your personal messenger of love. From designs that say, hey, I kind of like you, to you rock my world. We know how to create the perfect floral design sure to tell your Valentine how you really feel. We have so many design choices it will make your head spin. More importantly, they will make her head spin. PetalCreations.com or 423-6500. Stop in and see us at 56th and Highway 2 in the Edgewood Shopping Center.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Hey volleyball fans, this is Laura Dijkema, National Player of the Netherlands, and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There it is, the Old School crew coming at you post Super Bowl. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients of Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Ondremat, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. Continue with our Super Bowl reaction, or the domination of the Kansas City Chiefs by the Eagles. But a lot goes into it. But first and foremost, obviously, we want to give a shout out to Cam Jurgens. Obviously, Nebraska's own from Beatrice. The whole story, small town kid makes it big. But, look, Cam Jurgens was a folk hero. I remember hearing about him, like, oh, this kid in Beatrice dunking like in 6th grade. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Then you start to hear about him some more, and then he's a tight end. And then, didn't hear much about him. And obviously, did all the sports and was pretty good. And then he got here, high expectations, without he's a tight end. And I remember, I think it was Scott Frost saw me. He's like, oh, this kid that we got coming in, or that's here, he's going to wear your number. I thought, or at least I was told he's going to wear 44. And I was like, I'm not the only good person that did. And I was like, that's pretty cool. So I was letting me check him out. And then I think, he got hurt, and then he obviously redshirted. And then you started to hear about, obviously he really took to the weight room and was potentially going to move him to center. And when I saw him, I was like, he's just different. He's country strong. He's quick. Was very raw, never playing center. And then everybody, talked about the snapping issues, but nobody ever talked about how he fixed it. And obviously he fixed it enough to be a 2nd-round pick. He has the mindset, competitive, and he's a good kid, good, humble kid. Great parents. Was able to meet his mom one time, and you're just happy for him because, he played the right way. He played through on a couple lean teams. He's got good leadership skills. Was able to come in and learn from a Hall of Fame center in Jason Kelsey, and then able to take advantage of his opportunity, which is obviously be the true starter. Now he started, I think, last year at guard. It was pretty dang good then too, but then obviously moved to center and be the leader. Cam has taken and ran with it. So, congrats to him and all his success, and he'll have more success. His career is just getting started. He's young in his career, got a Super Bowl underneath his belt, and now he's probably going to try to strive for 2. Then obviously, get a couple contracts, and he'll be back on the farm, I guess, and probably be active.
That's an interesting place to be a center, given Philly's pioneering of the tush push.
Yeah.
You're on a winning team. You're part of the best offensive line in football. People are saying it coming into the year. They proved it again last night. Oh, boy, Cam, watch those knees. Plyometrics, stretch, yoga. Keep them healthy, please.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cam will be fine. I mean, injuries are part of the game. He's a tough kid. I know his back was messed up in the NFC Championship, and he was able to answer the bell couple weeks. It held a high wire to probably keep him out of a Super Bowl. So I think he's a good kid and grown into a pretty good player. So you want to give him a shout out. Just because it's always good to see a Nebraska kid win. And very rarely do you get to win a championship at high school. You've seen how hard it is in college, and then you go to where there's no other upper level and get drafted by a great organization. Everything works itself out. Stars align. You end up doing your thing. I think, you got to be happy for him.
A couple former Huskers alongside him, too. Nick Gates and O'Shawn Mathis also on the the Eagles roster.
Yeah, Nick Gates. The one thing about Nick Gates, he came in with a lot of fanfare. I think he's from Bishop Gorman, right?
Yeah, Vegas.
He had a gruesome injury. Tough to come back. He did come back. Played pretty well because he was playing with the Commanders at one time. Played with the Giants.
A captain for the Giants.
Yep, and made a career out of himself. As a backup there. So you gotta give a lot of credit for somebody like that, man. That leg injury he had was, oof, that was tough. And so, give him credit. And then O'Shawn, I know he had originally was drafted by the Rams, and then obviously that didn't work out. But sometimes when you get let go from the Rams and you can't go to a much better place, and now you got a Super Bowl ring. So now he needs to strive to try to make an impact like where Cam's at, right? You're on a winning team, you're getting paid, whatever your contract is, you got a Super Bowl. Now let's really start to work on your craft.
Yep.
And that's where you really start to see the betterment of players when they really hyper focus on their craft.
2 things. Number one, first of all, what can having 3 former players in the Super Bowl do? Does it mean anything for Nebraska? How can they use that?
It's great. I mean, it's every positive thing for the football former Huskers being involved in the NFL period, or any of the professional leagues period. And that's also, it's anything you can do around the program that's positive, that's showing progress, whether it's involvement of former players, former players like myself in the program, or anybody involved with the team, helping out and trying to help these guys be better on and off the field and all that stuff. And then with the current guys in any league having success, that's a recruiting pitch. I mean, it's a recruiting pitch. It's a program pitch. It's everything that you want. It's obviously and to have 3 guys in the Super Bowl and winning, that's good. That's good because really, hopefully, it's. I know some of the guys. Maybe there's still some guys on the team that know Cam, played with him. Yeah, I know he comes back some. I ran into him.
Nice.
So to see a Super Bowl champ and be back, that should be inspiring, because one of the best things that was inspiring to me was when we were in summer workouts and some of the guys that were in the NFL were coming back. And I remember, I think Tony Veland won a Super Bowl and he was working out with us. You know what I'm saying? So that's a former teammate of mine at the highest level winning a Super Bowl. That it inspires you to try to get to that level.
The other interesting college aspect of the Super Bowl last night, Devontae Smith, the first Alabama drafted player to score a touchdown.
I know, it's crazy.
How?
Yeah.
How?
They didn't pass the Julio
59
Jones,
years of Super Bowls.
but they haven't had a lot of wide receivers. Plus, they didn't pass the Julio Jones in the 28-3.
But still, like, Derrick Henry hasn't gotten there. Mark Ingram didn't get there.
Well,
I mean, the recent run receivers,
yeah,
it's
but
crazy.
yeah,
Mari never got there.
right. But usually when you're going that high, you're not going to Philly. You're not going to those type of organizations.
But still, 59 Super Bowls.
I know.
In Alabama.
Yeah.
No matter where you're going. You don't luck into one.
Yeah.
For 59 years.
Receiving. Right?
No, touchdown
period.
Touchdown.
Yeah. That is pretty amazing.
Not a running back. Not a quarterback.
Yeah,
not a tight end.
Not
a
even like a
flanker.
third tight end or something.
No.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
But pretty
man.
cool for Devontae Smith, too. That's a guy, Jay, that I wasn't sure was going to translate. Small as he was, skinny as he was, didn't think there was much room to add to the frame. Hasn't stopped him at all.
Yeah, he ain't added nothing to
Devontae's
the frame.
that dude, man.
Yeah, he's always what do they call him? Wiry strong.
Right.
He's tough. He's competitive. He's all football. So that gives him advantage of a lot of guys that he's going against. He's legit fast.
Oh, yeah.
And everything that he did in college, going against the toughest competition, he was going against NFL caliber talent, and he was unstoppable, to win the Heisman. So I just thought that he needed to be in the right spot. I think it's a good spot for him to be in initially right now to grow into a true number one. He's going to be a different number one than A.J. Brown.
Do you think Devontae gets to number one?
He could in the right place. He could in the right. He could be a number one in a San Francisco with a Debo or somebody like that as opposite him. You need
like a Jamar Chase number one?
Yeah, but Jamar Chase is physical though. Like he's
Okay.
he's more AJ Brown. He could be a number one.
AJ's a freak though.
Yeah.
Like size wise.
Yeah. He's like a tight end.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he could be a number one because now he's just got to stay healthy.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to count that he can't stay healthy when he got hit like he did in New Orleans. That was, that's a once in a career shot.
Yeah.
You're just laying there and just get racked. So I think he's pretty durable. I think he can make some 50-50 balls. I think he's going to be more a schematic number one, but he's a big game player though. He's a big game player. He shows up every week. The difference is I don't think Jordan Addison can be a number one. I think Devontae Smith can be a number one. They're both slender speed guys. I think Devontae Smith got way more to his game. Now, some of it that is play calling, and then also Darnold not getting it to him when he could have. But then also, I think it's just a different of the player too. Like,
more likely to be number one, Devontae or T. Higgins.
Probably T. Higgins. T. Higgins is sneaky. He's cold, man. Now, I'm assuming T. Higgins wants that.
Yeah. Otherwise,
I already know Devontae Smith wants that.
Yeah.
We're gonna see if T. Higgins wants it.
That's a balance, though, Jay. To strike. I mean, you want to be a number one, but how can you leave Philly? You're this successful.
Oh, Devontae Smith ain't going nowhere.
You're just gonna wait out AJ Brown?
Yeah. Why?
Okay.
You to defend the champ, run it back. Just
I'm not saying this year. I'm saying 3 years down the road.
Yeah, he'll develop into that, and AJ will need to go somewhere else. Whereas like T. Higgins is a little bit farther in his career, has had success, and he's overshadowed. I don't think Devontae is overshadowed by AJ. Yeah, so two different parts of their career, two different things going on. Yeah, so it's tough, man. I mean, the aftermath of a Super Bowl is like a celebration of the season. Great, two of the best teams playing. Next day is business as usual. Aaron Rodgers on the trading block. Devontae Smith is probably gone. Devontae Adams. And then Debo. And there's probably, I'm telling you right now, since the Senior Bowl has happened, the Combine is on the horizon, the Super Bowl is over. There's probably about right now 6 to 10 more guys that have been notified that pretty much you're either
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp, which was before. There's going to be 6 to 10 other guys that have been notified that you're either going to be released or when they tell you can seek a trade, it ain't happening. This is the funny thing about it. And I remember this, man. It was like I woke up from surgery in Houston. They were like, doctor was like, man, I didn't know, they were going to think about trading you. I didn't know it either. I'm just waking up, right? My agent was like, man, once you call a team and talk about, do you want to trade? They already know eventually they're going to release you. Unless it's somebody that they know salary cap wise they can move and all this other stuff. And there's a really, really like the linebacker Jones that got traded from Tennessee, I think, to Seattle. There was an immediate need right there, an immediate want. They wanted to get him out of there because they didn't want to pay him a new contract.
Yeah.
And Seattle needed to start middle linebacker. And it's not a big compensation trade. Whereas like Cooper Kupp, you got to think about salary cap ramifications. He's probably going to want somewhat of an adjustment to his contract because he's an established player that he's not going to want to go somewhere and just be a sitting duck, right, for a year. He's too established for that. So you're thinking about salary cap stuff, draft compensation coming back, comp picks based on how well he does, and if you're trying to invest in him and how old he is versus what you can get.
Who has the most 1,000-yard seasons left? T. Higgins, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams.
Man, that's a hard question. Because
I go Devontae, T. Cooper. Devontae's still a baller, man.
Yeah. Devontae's my number one, but it's all variable based though.
Yeah,
he's got to go. He's actually got the biggest decision to make. Like Cooper Kupp is just going to be situational.
Yeah,
and he's going somewhere where he's going to prove himself. He's out for revenge. He pretty much told you that. And then T. Higgins is going to be, I imagine, money based. So the highest bidder, that's where you're going. Devontae, his is all based on connection and where he can get a ring. And he's got to get back to work. He's got to get back to that same work that made him the clear number one.
Yeah, he was the best receiver in the NFL for 2 years.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years.
3?
It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
So he's got to inch back up towards Chase and Jefferson and all those guys. He's losing a little bit. Now, some of it's situational. You get rid of Derek Carr, you ain't got nobody. And then they send
do you think Devontae Adams regrets wanting out of Green Bay?
He didn't have a choice. His buddy, Aaron Rodgers, made the choice for him because he forced him to give a new contract. He had to go on it was his buddy. But he's a grown man. He
could have said, nah, I'll wait around to see if this Jordan Love guy's about. Give it a year. Because now I get it. He went to play with his buddy, Derek Carr in Vegas, and I can understand that. But that didn't work out. That didn't come close to working out. He got frustrated with him. And then you're just going to follow Aaron Rodgers to the Jets because he wants you to? You know that's a bad organization. Why not wait it out in Green Bay for a year and see what Jordan Love's like?
But see, I think it was working out with Derek Carr. They were doing fine.
But you got to know ownership doesn't like him.
Josh McDaniels didn't like him.
Yeah.
And then they brought in Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
And then that was the downfall of it. So
but the team wasn't going anywhere.
But they felt like but those two were fine together. Those two were fine. Devontae was still balling. He was still Those two were balling.
Yeah.
And everything else. When Josh McDaniels came in, that's where the problems arose.
Funny.
So because of Jimmy Garoppolo. And then that just soured the whole thing. He came there dealing with ownership with those two. That's why he went there. He essentially, you got to think, he was like, all right, I'm going from the best quarterback of all time, or the one of the best of all time. Now the soft and the best bet for my career to extend it and to be closer to home is to play with another established Pro Bowl quarterback in Derek Carr. Well, that only lasted a year.
Yeah.
And so that he didn't go there with only thinking Derek Carr was only going to be there for a year. It probably was at least 2 or 3. So, and then you like, okay, I'm going to go hook back up with Aaron Rodgers, and it ain't the same one.
Yeah.
And it ain't the same line. It's not the same situation. It just wasn't a good, so for him, he's got to get back to the best situation possible to being a dominant receiver. And
how many of those wide receivers get to a good place? The place that's best for him, like between Debo, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, who's the other? T. Higgins. That's 4 really big names.
T. Higgins is probably going to be money based, so he's probably going to go to a crappy team. If he's going to,
Jacksonville, stand up.
Yeah, he's going to go somewhere. Now, Cooper Kupp will probably get to a good situation because I think he's eventually going to be a free agent. Devontae, if I'm Devontae Adams, Why not go to Houston?
Be supercharged.
Stephon Diggs is probably. I'm reading right here. Say he's going to New York. The Giants. This is all up near Giants, right?
Mm.
That's fine.
Okay.
Interesting. You're opposite of Nico Collins.
Yeah.
You're a big body receiver, and you got a guy that can stretch over top, and you got C.J. Stroud, and he needs help.
Mm.
You got a guy that can get it to you.
On the flip side, you take a look on West 56th Street. You see Michael Pittman Jr. needs help. You got Josh Downs in the middle.
That's not.
You can be the number one outside guy. Help Pittman succeed. You know Anthony Richardson's going to Mechanics Guru that saved Josh Allen.
Yeah, is that where he's going?
Yeah,
that's it. You know where actually Devontae needs to go?
Indy. I just told you.
Buffalo. That's really where he needs to go. It fits him. He plays well in the cold. He'd be a true number one. He pretty much has the equivalent of Aaron Rodgers as Josh Allen. And you got Amari on the other side, and it'd be Super Bowl. I'm just telling you, why would you not go there?
Is Indy's better? You pay him more?
That's where I would go.
Savior? You would go to Indy? That's right, you would.
I want to go to Indy. I think Anthony Richardson is garbage.
He certainly played like it.
I just think for Devontae, it's a lot different than anything else. I think it's all based on the connection with the quarterback.
Yeah, makes sense. But it should be for your receiver, right? If you're a number one wide receiver in the NFL, you should make a lot of your decisions based off of who's going to be your quarterback.
Right, but I think for him, where he's at in his career, he's got about a 2-year window to get back up there. And then he could be a potentially number 2 if he wants to be on the downside. He's got to get somewhere where he's going to be able to get number 1 targets.
So that leads me to Buffalo's on the table. Don't know if Baltimore has the space to make it work, but I think that'd be fun. The Chargers.
I could see him out there.
Talk about close to home.
Yeah, I could see him out there in San Diego.
Again, not number 1 targets necessarily in a Harbaugh offense, but I think he could elevate Herbert. I think Herbert's good, and they struggled at wide receiver a little bit last year outside of McConkey.
Yeah, and Johnston is he's injury prone and drops as well. So I like him there. I would normally say like the Rams, because that's like a pickup that they would do, and he would in McVay's system he'd do work. But you're just getting rid of Cooper Kupp. So it's kind of, and you're all in on Puka. So
the baseball analogy that comes to mind for me would be like the Atlanta Braves getting rid of Freddie Freeman to sign Matt Olson.
Yeah.
Both good players, but one's been with your organization, came up with your organization. You found him, you developed him, you cut him loose, you'll get another big name, hope it works out. I'm not saying the stats wouldn't work, but the vibe just
is off. Yeah. So it's going to be, I mean, it's tough, man. I mean, it's for these veteran guys. I never was in that position. I would say I got to go where I can get paid, we'll play football, for free, not for free, but I'll play. Where these guys they're making legacy decisions. Now, T. Higgins, it's time for him to be paid like a number 1. So that's where you're getting paid, right? And then you have to deal with some of the things that you're getting paid to deal with, which might not be good as offensive line play call, and quarterback, but that's what you're getting compensated for to elevate everybody. Whereas the other two is like Cooper Kupp. He's on to show people that he's still healthy and he's not a system guy. He's kind of like Debo. Yeah. He might end up in San Francisco. Woo. He'd be a perfect Shanahan guy. Then you got to think where Devontae's thinking like, okay, I'm trying to cement my Hall of Fame career these next 2 to 4 years. And he's got to get to a place that we're strategic. So it might not necessarily be money-based. It's all in the next 2 years. Development with a quarterback, he got to get back in his game. What do they got around him? Defense. And then obviously trying to get to a big stage.
Right.
It's a good position to be in. I'm sure they all got good agents. Agents need to be getting those deals done, man, because they have legal tampering now. So once the combine starts, isn't that when they could do it?
I think so.
Yeah. So you start.
St. Elmo's gets buzzing.
I know, right? Yeah, people get a couple of them drinks and those the
shrimp cocktails.
Yeah, start thinking straight, man. That horseradish. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens, man. So, anyways, that's post Super Bowl fallout. It'll be interesting to see what happens, moving forward. But we're gonna take a quick break. Foreman and Oerman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through February 11th is $2 off burgers, limit of 2, 20% off sauces and spices, and 5 pounds of 75/25 ground beef for $20, limit of 2 while supplies last. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Bryant at 402-467-1111 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-1111.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Attention! For the entire month of February, Acres has John Deere packaged oil and filters for 15% off. John Deere engineers its oil filters specifically for large ag equipment and commercial and residential mowers. With premium materials, these filters meet the unique demands of your farm and acreage. Following a strict maintenance routine with premium John Deere oil and filters ensures your equipment will run efficiently for years. Visit your local Acres store to start shopping today.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
I used to smoke. I thought of cigarettes as my best friend.
They were always there for me when I needed a break.
I also thought cigarettes were my best friend, and then they gave me peripheral artery disease.
I smoked and had a stroke. Actually, multiple strokes.
I smoked and have heart disease.
Here's my tip. If cigarettes are your friend, you need a better friend.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
Back to old school on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, second segment, Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, old school, post Super Bowl edition. You know, it's crazy as much as the season. It's just like college football play. It starts, you always, you have to count down 100 days or whatever. And now you're kind of in that no man's land. But whether it's NFL or college, there is no off days. Whether it's recruiting in college, transfer portal, spring ball, whether we're having a spring game. Now you had all-star games, Super Bowl. I think the combine's next. Mm-hmm. And then you got free agency, and then you got the draft, then you got off season, which is, mini camps or whatever. And then the season starts again. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. So there is no off switch. There is no off season, just a little bit of a pause.
7 months, but who's counting?
Yeah, it goes by quick though. Because I think, the idea of off season used to be a lot different. Actually it's actually a little bit of both, right? So these guys actually get a break. Like they get to chill. Like they don't practice as much. They got to be obligated to the NFL facility. They like got a lot of off time. Whereas like once the season ended and like when I played, you got to get right back to work. It was, you had the as needed or mandatory, unmandatory, mini camps. And, we seen with Aaron Rodgers, they said part of the reason how they felt like he lost the team was he didn't show up to the mandatory mini camp.
Right.
That lets you know it's optional. And he
I pre-scheduled my trip.
He chose to make
no
it
refunds.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. You make $40 million. Yeah, I always remember this conversation I had with a friend of mine named Lloyd Parker. He actually played basketball at Kansas State. Do you want to hear the funny story how I met him?
Need to.
Oh man, this is funny. So
just assume if you ask if I want to hear the funny story,
you want to do it.
I want to hear the funny story.
And it's crazy how small the world is. And so in the off season and when I was playing, you just play basketball sometimes, and this is before you get back into senior trainer or whatever, getting back in the off season, you just, run a little bit. And we used to play at this sports club. Now it's called Lifetime, but it used, you had another name. So it'd be football, it'd be Dante Culpepper, Vikings and stuff like that. It'd be up there. And then it'd be some like, Kevin Lynch was up there where he got that work, from yours truly. And it'd be some other former NBA players or college players be up there. So sometimes my dad used to go up there and run a little bit. This is when I was a little bit younger, and when I was in high school and he'd play. So I was continue to play. So I ended up playing in the NFL and I'm living in Charlotte. So a mutual friend from Houston introduced me to Lloyd Parker. This is Lloyd Parker. So he was just good, like a good mentor to me. He's a little bit older. And then, he's like, yeah, I played at Kansas State or whatever. So we were just at like, we were actually, I don't know if we had golfed there. We did something. We were just talking. And he asked me about, he's like, did you play in this sport? I was like, yeah, I played basketball, this, and this. And he's like, man, you football players think y'all could play basketball, this, and this. And I was like, he's like, where could you go? And I just told him, he's like, oh, you must have been all right. I was like, yeah, I was okay, whatever. I was like, I can hoop, we can get it. But Lloyd is, he's a big, strong dude.
Sure.
And, his dad was in the military or whatever. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, when I lived up in Minnesota, I was like, dang, you lived in Minnesota? He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I used to hoop at this place called Crosstown. That's where I used to hoop, right? He's like, yeah, man, there used to be these Vikings in there. He was like, you know what, man, this old dude, Chuck Foreman, used to come in and play and thought he could hoop, right? Yo. He's like, yeah, he thought he could hoop. He's like, man, I had to show him who I was, right? He's just talking to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, man, this dude that he's like, he was a great running back. He tried to come in there and hoop. He's like, I tore his butt up, and he wasn't saying that. He's like, old, he's like him and all these old Vikings thought they could hoop with us and stuff, right? I was like, man, that's my dad. It was awkward silence. To like 5 minutes. He was like, you serious? I was like, yeah. You know what I said? You know me after that. I was like, yeah, my name is Jay Foreman. He was like, I didn't even put two and two together. I was like, well, who the hell? I said, my name ain't George, because I ain't George Foreman. He was like, oh, my bad. I was like, no, you ain't taking it back, dog. You ain't taking it back.
Just own it.
But after that, we was cool, right? And then I remember he was coming over. I said, hey, Lloyd, I'll just let you know my old ass dad gonna be there. He started laughing. He's like, all right, I'll bring over some drinks or whatever. So anyways, he worked at Bank of America, right? And at that time, I forget who the big holdout was in football. And I think I was still rehabbing my ankle or knee or whatever. And we were just talking, and he was talking about this particular player. He says, listen, I know he needs to get as much money as he needs possible. But I guess the player was talking about, how much he needs to do to take care of his family and all this other stuff. He's like, ain't nobody listening to that. Because ain't nobody in America who makes that type of money. Very small percentage. The point is, when it comes to Aaron Rodgers and not showing up for a mandatory minicamp because you think you already had something planned, you make too much money not to unplan it.
Sure.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Then therefore, you lose your stronghold on the team. You lose your true leadership. People won't trust you. Now they'll play with you.
Mm-hmm.
They won't play for you. And there's a difference. At quarterback, it's more important for guys to play for you than to play with you.
When a guy like Aaron Rodgers, with everything that he brings with him on the field and off the field, walks into that locker room, whatever locker room he's going to next after New York, how difficult is it for that team to give him a clean slate and judge him based off what he does in your facility instead of come in with these preconceptions and ideas of who he is and what he's about from his previous stops?
I think guys they'll be welcoming. You know how good he is. But I will tell you this, on the flip side, Jermaine Johnson says he's a great teammate. When he got hurt, Aaron Rodgers flew him out to see his surgeon free of charge. So he's not a bad teammate. I just think he just did something that probably he had done in the past in Green Bay, and it probably wasn't the right time. Look, everybody's job was on the line before this season. It was a lot of pressure. You needed to be there. Is a 3-day mini camp in the big scheme of thing a deal breaker? No, but it also shouldn't be a part of what broke the deal.
Yeah.
So I think if he goes into, as long as you play good, listen, there's guys in there. Here's the great thing about a locker room, and here's the funny thing that people don't understand about a locker room. And this is the honest to God truth. Guys, generally, at least when I was in the locker room, which is maybe, it's changed. I don't think it's changed that much. Guys don't care what you do on your own time. As long as when you're there, you handle your business and you're a good teammate and I can trust you and you're accountable. Here's an example. Just on numbers alone, if you just take the numbers, if you just take the percentage of people in America, doesn't matter, what their religion is, race, creed, and all that stuff, just a percentage. In a locker room of, it's expanded. So it's 53 active. Was it 10 on the practice squad?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just do 17, right? So there's 70 guys, right? Yeah. There's dudes in there that don't like white people. There's dudes in there that don't like black people. There's dudes that don't like whatever, aren't religious. So at the end of the day, when you step out on the field, you're not saying, all right, man, Austin's called cover 3. Well, he's married. I ain't gonna sell out for him. The guys don't care. Where they care is if they can't trust you. And that goes for coaches as well. They don't care. And that's just the thing with the coaches. The coaches got players they don't particularly care for, but you got to coach them because your job depends on it, and so does theirs, and they got to play good. Now, when you don't play good, then the person
pops up.
Yeah. You know what, man? He actually is a 3 steps slower instead of 1. But I think, all that stuff that that Aaron Rodgers does or whatever. I think guys, as long as he's a good teammate, they understand it's just difference. The locker room is just different. It is, man. I mean, I remember my locker when I was in Houston. We had a punter named Chad Stanley. I used to call him shower pill because he used to take a shower pill.
All right, Chad Stanley.
But he was a punter. I mean, so we gave him a break. But he told me, man, he's from I think some Podunk, Texas. He's like, look, man, he said he had never met a black person until he got to college. That's what I said. That's like, damn, really?
He's from Ore City, which is next to Lake O the Pines, not Lake of the Pines. Lake O *the Pines.
Yeah, middle of nowhere.
Yeah, like closer to Shreveport than Dallas.
Right.
Basically Louisiana.
Right. And he was country as all get out. Right? But that's the great thing about the locker room, right? And I'm sure, obviously, we were in the locker room together. We actually, and he actually was pretty cool, right? We weren't best of friends, but he ended up being a great teammate. He was a punter there for, at least with me, for my 4 years. So, I mean, that's just the great thing. That's the dynamics of the locker room. But I knew he would punt well. I knew I could trust him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to think he knew he could trust me. You know what I mean? I played hard for him and played with him. I wanted the best for him.
Tackled for him.
Right. That's just that's the way. So when you think about Aaron Rodgers or whatever, and his is not even close to some of the other issues that were in locker rooms that I'd seen. You know what I mean? If he's opinionated and it's probably more accepted now, because back then you couldn't say anything. If you said anything in the media that was perceived to be
questionable at best,
you were gone. Like out of there. You're too controversial. I mean, that's just, but times have changed, right? So I don't think it's that big a deal. I mean, Strick was talking about he first time getting booed. I would never forget that going in that locker room, man. I would never forget that. I was like, dang, they booing? Like, I'm used to it in Nebraska. We winning all the time. Yeah. Even we lost a few games my senior year. We ain't get booed, man. We came in there. It was halftime. Dudes was coming over the entrance. Boo, get it together. You guys suck. This, and this. I'm like, damn, we down by 3 points.
That's a field goal.
We down 10-7. We just getting started. Now, but the problem was the expectations were so high. We hadn't been playing good for a couple weeks. The weather wasn't good, and we weren't playing good.
Job took a bad turn. Wife's not happy.
Yeah, all that. And
kids are acting up.
And that Labatt's blue was flowing. And they'll throw beer over there. They'll hit you up.
Halftime refreshments, Jay.
Yeah, they'll get you. So I mean, it's tough, man. And sometimes that's the best thing for you. I talk about when the dude that was doing my cable, hey, I mean, it was real. I mean, I was like, dang. So people are watching.
Sean Alexander's another one of those Bama guys that didn't score a touchdown until Devontae Smith.
He didn't score when he broke the tackle. Almost.
Almost isn't. Did.
Almost scored against us.
It's different than did. You're good.
My man Rayon Hill, aka Jamie Foxx's stunt double, got him out at the one.
Thanks, Rayon.
Oh, he did, man. Oh, I thought I had him dead to rights. He used to wear these big old thigh pads. I bounced off that thing like a
force field.
Man, literally, Austin. I was like, yeah, I'm about to blow him out the frame. Boom. The whole crowd. Boo. Oh. Yeah. I got booed another time though.
What's worse, the boo or the when you got shook? Which I'm sure didn't happen much, but
well, it's two. Man, here's the worst boo. Like when we were playing bad and I got booed. I don't even know if I was active, so I ain't would have. Like, damn,
that's y'all problem,
right? I didn't get me a hot dog, right? Then I'm like, we better come win. So I got a job next week. That one from like Sean Alexander, it was just a quick one, right? Because everybody was like, all right, we gotta get the crowd hype for goal line. So then I made a couple plays, so I was like, all right, all is good.
Back in good graces.
The worst boo is when I was in Houston and we were playing Buffalo in my revenge game.
Oh,
hey, 15-yard taunting, crucial after a third down stop. Got me. Extend the drive. We bust cover 4. Our bread and butter. Eric Moulds, bang 8, touchdown. When I tell you, here's the sequence. The 15-yarder.
Who are you talking to?
Peerless Price.
Okay.
And he's my dog too.
Yeah.
So
that's why.
Yeah,
that's how.
Yeah, and he was wolfing because he knew I was hyped, right? And he apologized for it. He let Greg Williams hype him up too much because I was like, man, we're gonna fight after the game. That's how frustrated I was. And then so then I got mad. I got incensed mad. I got to make it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one, I was tackling Travis Henry. So I went and took on a block, shed the block, about to tackle. I had Travis Henry. Well, he dipped. He's super short. I'm 6'2", almost 6'3". He's like 5'8". So when I reached back to get him, I got him. It wasn't technically back then there was a horse collar. I grabbed him on where the nameplate was. 15 penny. Hey, back to back, 30 yards.
Oof.
That one I was like, I was just trying to make a football play.
Mm-hmm. They don't care.
2 plays later, bang
Eric
8.
Moulds, bang 8.
Strike up the band. Turnover on offense. They score again. Yo, Austin. When there's 80,000 people in Reliance Stadium, all eyes were on one. Me. Spotlight. just sitting there like,
dang,
how the hell did you do, Jay? What the whole time you thinking, why did you do that? Why did you, whatchamacallit? And I will tell you this, when they say the second guy gets caught, the dude told me.
Mm-hmm.
The other refs saw it, but they won't overturn it. So the ump saw that I was the second guy. The guy there came in and did it. So Peerless didn't get the third down, but he jumped up and got in Kenny Wright's face. So, I was like, I came over there popping. Boom, got me. And that was back when they wouldn't let you say anything to each other. 15 yards. I'm like,
you were really working on
it.
Hey,
Gary Walker, look, Seth Payne don't ever get mad. He never got mad at me. He going off on me, right? Jamie Sharper saying something to me. And the worst is Gary Walker, because he mad he got to go out and work harder. Next play, 15-yard penalty. I'm like, I can't win for losing, right? End up, I didn't even really play good that game. I played okay. Even if I played good, that
30 yards
right.
back-to-back point.
And you know what's worse? You know what's fun? The game started out great. Pass defense, a couple tackles for loss, doing my thing. We win in blankly blank. Everything. I just want to beat them.
You go from hype woofing to mad.
Not even woofing, just kind of doing my thing and just, and then it went through a lull. Then I needed to crank the intensity back up.
You found your boy.
Got me. And when I tell you, the whole stadium. And I remember driving home, man. I'll never forget this.
Houston fans looking in your windows, you're driving home.
I called my mom crying like a baby. I remember it was on like 610 radio. It was hotline. Get him out of here. He's a wild man. Beep. Get him out of here. Dom Capers, you either cut him or you need to be fired. Hey, needless to say, I think by 8:00 that night, I already knew I had to go in and see Dom. I'm like, is my dead man walking? And the worst part, here's the worst part about it. We had a bye week.
Oh, no.
It was a bye week.
Yeah.
I had to sit on that. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you what, that sent my career on a path to heights based on that, because you got to really deal with some adversity internally. There was a lot of
a lot of conversations.
Man, I know brothers are looking at me like, you still here? Yeah, I'm still here. You still starting? Yeah, I'm still starting.
What you gonna do about it?
You better show me something. And that's what Gary Walker said. You better show me something next game. I was on it then after that. So anyways, we'll take a quick break. Hopefully we won't get booed in the quick break. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, we'll be right back.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through February 11th is $2 off burgers, limit of 2, 20% off sauces and spices, and 5 pounds of 75/25 ground beef for $20, limit of 2 while supplies last. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Attention! For the entire month of February, Acres has John Deere packaged oil and filters for 15% off. John Deere engineers its oil filters specifically for large ag equipment and commercial and residential mowers. With premium materials, these filters meet the unique demands of your farm and acreage. Following a strict maintenance routine with premium John Deere oil and filters ensures your equipment will run efficiently for years. Visit your local Acres store to start shopping today.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall, Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit OStreetCarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
We currently have a great inventory of homes that are completed or almost complete available right now that you could move in within 30 to 90 days.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
In Woodside Village, which is in Northwest Lincoln, catty corner from the new Northwest High School, we have available homes right now that start in the lower 300s. Sod, sprinklers are included, all your kitchen appliances, brand new homes ready to go. A very accessible area, easy to get downtown, easy to get on the interstate. It's just a great location. Our designer has selected incredible finishes that will amaze you. Available homes right now that start in the lower 300s.
Call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Back to old school on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh, man. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, Oerman and Foreman. Never hurt sometimes to get booed. I've been booed as a coach. I used to coach basketball. They be like, man, you horrible. I know the parents used to be looking like, man, you horrible. You just a football guy. You don't know nothing about basketball. I used to hear that stuff all the time. Matter of fact, here's a funny story. I was coaching one time, and I coached against this coach before. I didn't think I had I never had a problem with him. He's another, minority coach. I'd be cool, just coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he was talking to his team before the game and was like, hey, we need to shut this dude. We need to shut this dude up, right? I ain't never beat him, but we gonna do it. He's like, I don't like this dude, and I don't like his team. The whole time I'm thinking we cool, right?
You thought,
right? And so we end up beating him, and ended up beating him bad, right? And it was actually a 17 team or whatever. And so one of the parents came over and was like, yo, what's up with this dude? I was like, oh man, that's Coach so-and-so. I was like, he's pretty cool. He was like, really? And he's like, you guys like each other? I was like, I like him. He was like, he's telling me, I was just laughing. So you just never know when people are booing you, sometimes, but if you take it the right way, it could work out positive for you. Man, I'm telling you, Austin, you talking about your sphincter muscle being tight. I've never I've lost my cool before. I've never done it in front of 80,000 people. And it wasn't even like losing my cool. I just never had done something stupid like that.
Put on a show like that.
Right. Coach Osborne let us do it. I never did it in Buffalo. Never been in that situation, I guess, being traded the way I did. So it was, I let my emotion, my person, I was being selfish. That's a selfish play. The second penalty was just a football play. It's just, it's kind of like an inadvertent face mask. What are you going to do? This happened to be the next play. The worst 10 seconds of my football career was probably that. It was running literally. And then I watched on tape. I literally ran from the opposite hash to our sideline to get this face.
That's dedication, Jay. You were about it.
The all 22.
That smoke was coming.
Oh, and I was bopping. Woo. Then all you saw the head would go down. So that 2 or 3 seconds or whatever, and then boom, the next play. Running play. 15 more yards. Then they were like, he just giving us the game. He still think he on Buffalo. Oh, I was hot. I was hot.
Secret agent.
Yes,
He's a sleeper.
Oh,
he's embedded.
God. Yeah, and then when I played in Buffalo the next year, I think when they introduced me as a starter, they booed me too.
Oh, I was hoping you're going to get thank you.
No, they booed me. We got that get
like
back.
It was their choice to get traded.
Well, we got that get back on them though. Yeah. Unfortunately, somebody got taken out, but they bounced. They was all right after that. Yeah, it was tough though. Anyways, tough lessons in sports. The bow is on the football season. Congrats to the Eagles. Bigger congrats to Cam Jurgens, man, and big shout out to them. So we're gonna turn it over to Ticket Weeknights. Got Tom Chattel, right?
That's right.
Uh-oh.
Some Husker hoops.
Yeah.
Husker softball.
I'm sure he's got.
Iowa tonight.
Yeah, and he's got some Cam Jurgens stories. I bet.
Yeah.
Covered him. So
Eckler contract.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll dive into that maybe Wednesday. Yeah. Anyways, Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, old school. We'll holler at you tomorrow.